All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful, amazing planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Agent Session. I'm your host for tonight's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this evening as we dive into the technicals and a whole lot of fundamentals this week to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. So if everybody can hear me loud and clear, please drop me a 1 in the chat and we can get tonight's session on the way. All right, thank you very much. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the fundamentals. I can close this out and we can come over to today and we can see that the claimant count change for the UK came in at miss 30.5K, right? So for those of you who may not know what that is, it's the first indication of the employment situation released a month earlier. The unemployment rate. Social Exchange, the series calculation formula as of June 2015. So although it's generally viewed as a lagging indicator, the number of unemployed people is an important signal of overall economic health because consumer spending is highly correlated with labor market conditions. Unemployment is also a major consideration for those steering the country's monetary policy. And if we go down, Bank of England Governor Bailey spoke today, and we could just look here. Quick squawk, right? Live squawk when he was speaking. Bailey, economic environment is challenging. UK inflation is high. Demand slowing. Interest rates have been rising, right? So challenging times in the UK and across the globe as central banks try to navigate through what is a lot of things going on all at once. So we'll continue to keep our eye on that. Also today, right, we know that here in the United States, the CPI came in, core CPI and CPI month over month, or every one of them, right? The reports, different variations came through soft for the second consecutive month. So, right, investors are expecting 50 basis points from the Fed tomorrow, but it's all about what is the future going to look like. So when we're looking at 2 consecutive soft CPI reports, is hey, inflation is kind of tailing off a little bit. We're starting to see the lagging effects of those aggressive interest rate hikes that they've been doing month after month. Now we look forward, right? How do things look going forward? So we know that the Fed uses what you hear Chairman Powell talk about all the time is the dot plot. It's kind of, hey, it's that future forecast of where interest rates needs to be. In this case, what we're looking at here tomorrow is, hey, at the end of 2023, where are those interest rates gonna have to be, right? So in September, they had a dot plot saying at 4.6. So we know that we expect them to hike rates, hey, 4.75, 5%, 5.25 by the time it's all said and done. Then it's just a matter of how long they're going to keep it there. A lot of people are saying, hey, rate cut starting, coming in June of next year, July of next year. But ultimately, in September, they were calling for, the dot plot was calling for rates to be at about 4.6 by the end of 2023, trying to get that inflation back down to reasonable levels. But now investors are starting to come down off what they think is going to be a lower estimate coming from the dot plot tomorrow at around 4.3. So initially in September, the last dot plot showed 4.6% for rates at the end of 2023. And now investors are thinking something more like 4.3. All right. So it's all about now how long, right, will they hold rates before they start cutting the rates once inflation comes back within that 2 to 3% target range, which is ultimately the goal. Still a lot of work to do. My guess is tomorrow, Powell is still warned against markets becoming overconfident as he has been through several of his last meetings. So I do expect to definitely warn about being too confident tomorrow as well. So we have, we've got, that was at 5:30, Governor Lowe spoke, but that was something related, but really unrelated, not a major mover. But going into tomorrow, Wednesday, right? We got CPI coming out for the UK, okay? And we just saw what Governor Bailey had to say. And then at 2 o'clock, we've got FOMC economic projections, the statement and the federal funds rate, which we just said we're expecting 50 basis points. But then, right, 2:30 is the FOMC press conference. So all eyes and ears will be tuned in to hear what Chairman Powell has to say in regards to forward guidance. 4:45, we've got the GDP QRBQ coming through for New Zealand. And then we have at 7:30, Australia employment change. So employment numbers coming out for Australia. So it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. And then give me 1 second, everybody. Sorry about that. So very busy day tomorrow, as it will be busy throughout the entire week, last major week of the year before we head into the holidays, and then eventually the new year. So be expecting volatility. Be expecting volatility. We've seen some today as a result of the CPI print that came out. So we'll see how it goes. Ryan, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, bro. Doing well, man. Doing well. How about yourself?
Man, doing pretty good. Finally got to settle down. I've been running all day.
I feel you, man. Me too. I'm just getting in too.
I know. So it's nice to actually settle down and find some peace, right? And get in here with the team and work things out in these markets. This is what I like to do the most. So anything that you picked up on today fundamentally?
I didn't get a chance to read a ton later on in the afternoon, so I still got to do some catching up. So not at the moment, but I might chime in with some later.
For sure. All right. So I was able to find a article, the reasons why Australia's economy is slowing, right, through ING. So I'm going to put this. This is a good read. I don't want to take up all your time tonight reading through it. But this is a really good article, right, for people interested in the Australian dollar and the economy, because it matters. Well, it's a great question, Kim. If these interest rate hikes, serve as the baseline for a lot of your mortgage rates, lending rates, and everything else, right? So we may see it creep up. Those mortgage rates creep up again. Speaking of housing, that's the one thing in the CPI report that continues to be a bit of a challenge, right? Is housing costs. When you look at the breakdown, it looked like food came down, some other things came down, but the cost of housing continues to be an issue, right? So that's a major player in what's going on with this inflation, at least here in the United States. So that was some of the information that I was able to read today. Also, oil up 6% on the week as U.S. inflation cools and the pipeline outage continues, right? So the U.S. to Canada pipeline, we've got a spill. So that's causing some issues, right? Because that's a supply issue at that point when you have to shut down the pipeline. So I'm going to put this article that was in investing.com. So even though it was a busy day, I was able to find a few important articles to grab a hold of, some quick reads for everybody to be able to take a look at. So make sure that you read up on that. And that is all, right? So we know, right, soft CPI data, and we were wondering, hey, is that dollar going to push down to that weekly support level around that 61.8? And that's exactly what it did, right? So hey, from a technical perspective, 80-20, and we got a break and a retest, right? So it's just the ebbs and flows of the market is how the market moves, right? It's just got the break, and we got to retest it. Then we came right on down to this level in this zone right around this 61.8. So we'll continue to see if that dollar is going to push deeper in the zone, a deeper correction, or we're going to start to stabilize around this weekly support level and maybe see the dollar get some more bounce to the upside. Kind of hard to tell. It's going to be all based on what Powell has to say. You're welcome, Kim. You're welcome. Anytime. All right. So that's where we are on the US dollar, right at weekly support. So if we come out and we take a look at where we are from a broader perspective, we are sitting right here. Okay. Right there at that level. Right. So if we get that bounce, first thing you start thinking is we see this high right here. Okay. So you could have a little shoulder action going on, right? Left shoulder, we hold here and push up back to that right shoulder. I mean, back to that left shoulder level to create the right shoulder. All right. So we'll see. We will see what he has to say tomorrow. And that's where we are. I don't expect a ton of price action out of the market tonight, especially with that FOMC statement and rates coming through. So probably push a little sideways. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but typically that's what it does. But we shall see. So I want to take a go back and take a look at some of the pairs that we played today. I'll take a look at that pound CAD first, because I know we posted in the Telegram and I got out at TP1 on that one with everything ahead of tomorrow. I didn't carry it, but it's probably going to keep moving. But I took profit at TP1, but we probably got some more upside price action on that. We'll see. But when we got major reports and things like that coming out, I tend to not hang on to the trades as long, right? If I can get it to get to at least one take profit level, but that may continue to run to the upside. So that is the pound CAD on the 15. I believe that was the last one that we posted in the Telegrams, kind of doing this thing, right? Push down a little bit lower, right? Push down a little bit lower, and then we got the reversal. So we come to an 8.6 level. So if it completes this C to D push, being that it's run right into that 8.6 level, then that last TP level, that TP, what would be 3, to come down to that 118 like that. So we will see how that plays out. Just a little sideways price action now, so to speak. Was anybody able to take advantage of that position that was put? Didn't last that long getting to the first level, but nobody. Okay.
No.
That was a quick move.
Yeah, it was quick. Yeah, it was quick. It was quick. Once it got some momentum to the upside, but we'll see. We'll see if that continues to follow through. I mean, it's sitting high up in the zone, right? We know the CAD has been taking a beating as of late. That's where we are from a weekly perspective. We got a break above that 165.02, and here, right? Extended, right? See that breakout from those levels? That was clean, right? To that D extension, nice and clean, and we're beyond it now. We're into daily resistance here. So we're thinking just maybe if that C to D move plays out, just a retest of 167.83. If it moves beyond that, to retest the highs of the previous day's candle. But it's made quite a run, right? Pairs have against the pound. This is what we were looking at before in the 4 hour, seeing what it wanted to do if it wanted to continue long, right? So here's that 4 hour candle, right? A push up, what is that, 167.83? So that's 167.83 here in between TP1 and TP2, right? So it'll have to stay bullish for quite some time for it to get, back to that level. But there's that daily level sitting there on the 15. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on that. Any questions on that pound CAD?
Nope.
Nope. All right, appreciate it. There was one that I didn't. It's so busy today, I didn't get a chance to to post it, but it moved pretty good. This was the pound Aussie, right? The pound Aussie. So just playing those reversals off the level. So that's a clean move, right? So I wanted to cover it, even though wasn't able to get it posted in time. My apologies for that, but just this is a good one to study, right? So the more and more you look at it, you study it, especially for our newbies, what you're looking for, right? That inner to outer trend line break. Okay, you got your swing low to form here in this zone. Okay, you draw your trend lines properly, and there's your reversal. Okay, there's your reversal, and it's been moving up, and it's coming into this first level, right? And I've got a second level there, but right off that break, right, we're moving up in the range. That's 70 pips or so where we are, right? So not quite to that TP1 just yet, but it's swinging, right? So we saw the downturn. Here's the weekly setup here. Okay, so it doesn't look like much, right? But when you go down to those lower time frames, you can just find the smaller waves, right? Once you get it, hey, the market moves in waves. You can keep moving down through the charts until you actually find that wave, right? Because this is the overall 4-hour move, the longer swing that came out of the double bottom. Okay, so there's a lot of price action in between. Okay, so that swing off the double bottom that we had posted in the Telegram got up to a high of about 658 pips, then it broke down, right? Ultimate target is here at your 127 extension based on the pullback, the retracement level, extension 1.27. But you can see even in this traffic, right, there's price action to be had, right? Once you get it, you just know, right? Impulse leg and then a reversal. And then a reversal. So that could be, right? If that target's going to get a hit, that 127 target, that could be further upside momentum on that. Okay. So that's just a quick look at the pound Aussie. There was even on the Euro NZD and the Euro Aussie, there were nice reversal plays after those finished out. And I'll show you all an example. The Euro Aussie, right? So you can see here, right, that overall on the 4 and a larger swing, we're right up around that 80-20 zone. Okay, that's the Euro CAD. I want to go to the Euro Aussie, sorry. We'll go to that one in a little bit. Right, here we go. So here was the Euro Aussie. Okay, it's the breakdown off the trend line. But then we put in the Telegram for the short. Okay, so you see the pullback that we got. This was because of the wick hit. That should have disabled that, but it hit that target fast and then it reversed. But this just shows you, like, once you get to those extension levels, the opportunities, right, that are even there, right? So even though you get through some targets, keep your eye on it when trades finish out, because we've got an ABCD move. Okay, technically that got hit, so our C becomes our new A, and our D becomes our new B, and you see you got a reversal right off of that zone. Okay, so just know when you see something come through and it's like, man, that got through all 3 levels, it made a completed ABCD wave. Right, like so. C, D, right? Completed ABCD wave. Well, that C is going to be the new A. That D is going to be the new B. We got a new AB boundary, and there's a potential for a reversal, right? And that's exactly what it did. And you can see that's an Aussie. That's a counter currency. So what that looks like, it's like this, right? We'll draw it up real quick. Okay, we'll take these out now, since that move to the downside was over. Okay. So we made money on the way down, hitting those targets. Okay, and maybe you only take it to target 1. That's okay. All right. So the way that looks is right like this. You could just play, just like how we just saw on that pound Aussie. You're gonna notice on this Euro Aussie, and isn't it amazing, right? Two similar regions, right? Australia, New Zealand, similar trade partner, and China, both commodity currencies, right? And we saw it rally as a result of the CPI. And that's how you can really stack your pips, because this is pretty much the same price action, right? And that's where knowing your fundamentals comes in handy. So this was the same price action that you just saw on the pound Aussie. Everybody see that? Drop me a one. Right? Similar price action, soft CPI report, Wall Street rallies, typically good for commodity currencies. Here's your rally, right? So here was your downside sell, right? Pressure that we got, that we were able to catch pips on. And then as a result of the CPI, you got the rally, right? So off your inner trend line break, okay, it's 100 pips back to the upside that's recovered in no time, okay? So that's the Euro Aussie. And if you go to the Euro NZD, right, that we posted in the Telegram, you'll see the similar price action. Look at what happened, right? So here was the move to the downside, okay? Here was your move to the downside, and then here's the commodity rally today, right? So right off that break, okay, got a reversal. Highest point was over 130 pips, just like that, right? Understanding, spending the time on the charts, really getting your fundamentals together, right? You'll be able to take advantage of those moves. Wish you could have got it posted. It's super busy running today on the move, but there's still good charts to study and just understanding how fundamentals really impact the market, right? Impact the market, right? Euro took off, boom, right? Back to the upside, okay? All right. Let's go to there's another one that I had to, let me see. Wanted to look at NZD Swiss. I had in my notes. Yes, this level here, right? Pay attention to it here across. Keep an eye on this one. Okay, right? You can see how it's respected this level to 60.18, right? Straight across there. So we got the long wick action, right? But it didn't close above it, right? And we've got a breakdown. So we may see more downside pressure on our way back down through the lower time frames here on your 4, right? That's your 4. And then if you come up here to the daily, right, you'll see where we are. So we'll see if we get more downside pressure on that NZD Swiss. All right. So that's just one to keep an eye on as we move throughout the rest of the week, to see if we can get some more movement to the sell side. This is on the weekly, right? So it's kind of giving us that pause. We're overbought, right? So it may be due for a correction at some point. It's already looking like it's starting to move that way a bit. All right. There was wanted to check in on these the Aussies, because we are getting to some levels that we want to pay attention to. So not necessarily a move right now, but things we want to start to key in on as we top out. So we can see here from this weekly level on the Aussie CAD, how it's just been explosive, right? So we broke through this 90, 98 level, right? But it may be time for it to kind of start to settle in and stall out a little bit and come back down and correct. So as we move through the charts, we can see how we've got a de-extension hit on the Aussie CAD, and we're starting to get that sideways movement, right? That consolidation, like we see oftentimes when that de-extension gets hit there, right? So pay attention to that, especially since we're starting to see a little bump in that oil. And we can see here where just about every time frame, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, we're hitting some key levels, right? We're hitting some key levels. All right, so that's that daily de-extension level there. And then you can see on the 4, we hit a de-extension. Didn't get much of a correction, right? Just stayed impulsive, stayed above trend line, and we ran right into that de-extension. Had a good breakout, right? So if you're a breakout trader there and you like to play that, look what happened once it broke that zone. All right. Just things you pick up on, right? When you spend the time on the chart. See how it's just that tight consolidation, right? And then all that energy just pushed it. Okay. So if you like breakouts, that was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good one. Here we are on the 1. Just a zoomed in look, right? It even tried to come back to kind of retest, right? That area that it broke. Yeah, that was a good one there to study for breakouts. All right. There were a few more. It's here. Oh, yep. So this one here is another one that's kind of just ranging, right? So put this one on your long-term radar that eventually that price is going to break out. Okay. You can see how tight it's getting. Okay. Look at that. All right. So we'll see, right? We'll let the market dictate what it wants to do, right? But it's getting tighter and tighter. At some point, that one's going to break out. So watch for that Aussie Swiss to break out eventually, okay, and make its move. Any questions on the Aussie Swiss?
No.
All right. Okay. Let me check the rest of these Aussie pairs real quick, since he spoke at 5:30. See if anything changed with it. Really, no. This one's still just right, kind of just hovering around in the zone. This is your Aussie yen. Right, we got some downside movement in the Asian session, but that one's moving pretty good off that support. We talked about that one this weekend. How it started to push long, but now you can see here on the 4 how we're starting to get that rejection right around that 80-20 zone. Right, so that push and that correction. Right, so it's coming out of that zone pretty good. So what we want to do is, now that this is on its way, right, see what happened when it gets down around your 4 hour at 91.89, right around that 61.8 level. See if it starts to give you that pause, and see if that trade wants to reverse out. Right, see if that trade wants to reverse and start making higher highs and higher lows again, but just be patient with it, as it has been bouncing all over the place. Okay, like that. Right, so just come on, let that come on right on down into the buy zone. Right, and we'll see what'll happen at that point. But that's a classic, right? 80-20 on the 4. Right, so that's almost to that 382. I completely missed that one. That's 100 pips there, 136 back down to the 61.8. Right, so it's already making its move. Let's see what happens when it comes into our buy zone. Any questions on the Aussie yen?
No.
All right. And when I go to this Aussie NZD, And this is still, right? Still doing the dance, right? So that 80-20 is still in play, and it has been forever. But this is the Aussie New Zealand, right? Ryan, are you in this one, or did you jump out?
Yes, I'm still in that one. Yep.
Me too.
I had a somewhat of a wider stop on it, so.
Yep. Yeah, I'm still good. I'm still good.
That spike was interesting though.
I know, right? Thank goodness for the wide stop. Right? It kind of just like a double bottom, right?
Exactly.
Where it came down and hit that level, didn't break it. So got a small position in. I'm just gonna let it do what it's gonna do, right? Because that's a major move if it can gain some momentum to the upside to that 382. That's over 200 pips, right? And it's kind of showing throughout each time frame. All right, we've got it on the daily where we're in that zone, and it's just stalling out right now. It can't seem to get enough momentum to the upside. That's okay, right? And there we go on the 1 hour. So that's just a longer term play, sitting in there small, just gonna let it float and do its thing. So that's where we are on the Aussie New Zealand. I know I'm going kind of through these kind of fast tonight, everybody, but I haven't had a chance to really get through all of the price action earlier today, as it was super busy, and I know that there was news, right, that moved the market. So I want to check them out. All right, so that's where we are, right? On the Aussie New Zealand, and then we can stop in and take a look at the Aussie dollar. We continue to push long today, a little bit, but we're kind of still stabilizing in that area, in that zone. This will be interesting tomorrow. This will be interesting tomorrow. Right, so right in this area, it's way overextended on the weekly. And then when we come down here to the daily, right, we just can't, right? You would thought, right, we got a nice candle today because of the news, but we're still hovering around that 61.8. Right? Didn't get too much momentum to the upside with the soft CPI data. And we know that the dollar is settling in a little bit at that weekly support. So tomorrow will be interesting. So keep an eye on the Aussie dollar, but that's where we are. Push right up to that 61.8 and that daily resistance at 68.51. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes, and then I just track my my daily down through the 4 hour. Right, that's what made the most sense for this move. Okay, but it's been quite a run. It's been quite a run off the 80-20. All right, but now we're getting around some high prices. So that whole run from October, over 700 pips to the upside. Now, we shall see if it moves about in consolidation for a while, or we get some decent price action after tomorrow. Okay. All right. Any questions on the Aussie dollar? Good on that. Everybody got the same thing working on their charts, similar setup, similar look.
Yeah, Benny, can you run the fib on the 4 hour on the AUD USD?
You want it to the upside, or you want it coming down?
Upside.
Upside. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There we are. Got the extension there. Is that what you have?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. You're welcome. Hey, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Because you got so much back and forth with the speculation right now. Right. You see the articles, the reasons why Australia's economy is slowing. Some people say recession. Some people say Australia will be able to avoid a recession. Kind of like what's going on here in the United States. So we'll see what happens, right? But we're still within that down AB boundary. We'll see how it climbs, right? Maybe it's just a large correction, and we don't get a definite trend change, you know, to the downside. So we'll see. We'll see. I think that's going to be more dollar than anything. So that's the Aussie dollar. We check in at Bitcoin, see what's going on. So we had a bit of a rally in the market. I wonder what this is doing. So still kind of got a little bit of swing. Not quite back up above the 17,773 yet. So we got a check back going on there. All right. Waiting for this crown to finish playing out. So we'll see. It's pushing that level. All right. So we'll see good old Bitcoin. I would like to see it keep falling. All right. Lowest price possible before taking a shot at it back to the upside. But this is really just moving sideways. All right, a little upward momentum. But nothing major yet. It is breaking above there. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. We don't have, right? From this daily fib. Okay. It's pushed way down. Right. It's in that zone. So we'll see. We'll see. Ryan, what do you think on that? With everything that's going on with I hear they got my guy down in where was he, in the Bahamas?
Yeah.
So what happened with that? I saw Reset posted something at the last minute this morning. What happened with that?
Yeah, I guess the United States worked in partnership with the Bahamian government and went and arrested them. Said, come on back. Got a lot of explaining to do. So so we'll see what happens. Such a shame. Such a shame.
Yeah.
But yep. So we'll see. We'll see. But you know me, man. I feel more comfortable after a shakedown like that because that regulation is coming, which is what needs to happen. And I think that's what a lot of major folks are waiting on. Right? More regulation. Right. So you see what's happening when you don't have it. But that's where we are with Bitcoin. So there's an extension at 10,835 on a daily. Continue to wait and see how that plays out. Cat Swiss. There were a couple of these that I wanted to look at. Yes. So long-term swings, right? I know we've been playing a lot of the short ones lately, but let me bring this back to life. All right, there we go. So we do not have, right, hardly any type of correction yet on this Cat Swiss. So I'm really paying attention. That's why I've been trying to find stuff to read up on the oil to see, because like we always say, right, when you look at Canada's GDP and their economy overall, pretty good. It's that oil price that's getting hammered that's causing that CAD to sink the way it is, right, for the most part. But here, this setup, we've got an 80-20, hardly any retracement, and we just got a double bottom here at that 127. So let me zoom in on this. Here, right? So I wanted to highlight that. So that's one to keep an eye on to see if we can get some upside momentum, right? On that on this Cat Swiss. This is on the 1 hour, right? Because that's a strong move if it can gain some momentum and work its way back to that 382. That's 285 pips. Okay, on the Cat Swiss. So put that one on your radar. F. All right, any questions on that one? That one's pretty clean. That one's pretty clean. So if you come up here and you take a look at the daily, I should have started there. My apologies. Should have started there. But you got a beautiful, right? ABCD wave over and over and over, right? See it until you build the confidence to take the trade. We've got a D extension, right? Which is an area where we could see a reaction. Okay, exhaustion, daily stochastic in the buy zone. So that's what's really got me thinking on this lower time frames, that 80-20 there, and on your 4, you've got a brand new AB boundary. Okay, so we've got the great reset going on here. Now we've got some stochastic misalignment here, right? Which might just cause the market just to push sideways for a bit. But these are the type of technical setups and opportunities that we look for. It's at those extreme lows, right? We come into the weekly here. You can see where we are on the CAD Swiss. All right, so it's been a huge move to the downside. Let's see if we can get price to correct for a little while. All right, so that's the CAD Swiss, the CAD Yen. Right, posted in the Telegram. If I can get a break above this 101.11, right, I'll be looking to see if we can get long. Didn't happen. It did not happen, right? Matter of fact, it just froze, right, and pushed right back down. But we didn't break lower either. Okay, so this is one that we want to highlight, right? Put the rectangle around there. It's got to make a move sooner or later. And typically when it does, right, when it's been this tight, typically you look at a pretty good breakout. All right, so we'll see if we can get that swing on the CAD Yen to the upside, right? So if you come here, look at that. That's got to give us something. Okay. Whether it breaks up or down, I just want to be ready for it. Questions on the CAD Yen? That's a decent play there. Right? To break off the trend line, right? That correction, it's beautiful. But you can see how it consolidated, broke down. Consolidated. Now we want to see where it breaks next. See? There you're on the daily. So let's see what happens. See what happens. Either way, we can make the plays. The beautiful thing about the Forex market, as we always say, you can make money on the way up and the way down. Just be prepared for it. All right. So let's take a look at this Swiss Yen. Okay. It's 1 hour break. Hey, look. All right. It's doing all types of stuff, but it's respecting these levels, these weekly levels. All right. Bouncing back and forth. See if we can make plays on the lower time frames, take advantage of them, right? So we'll see on this daily, right? We've got this high. Okay. Overbought. We got 2 to the left. We got our center wick high. We need 2 to the right. Okay. And see if we can get that new swing high to form, and then maybe that leads to further downside pressure. Okay, like that. But we gotta wait, right? Gotta wait a couple days, right, to make sure that that's an official high from the daily. If we come to the 4, right, we can see it break it down a little bit. All right, got a D extension hit, and now we're starting to stall a little bit. Okay. So this one, I want to be patient on the daily to see if that high is going to form. If it forms, then I'm probably going to be thinking more downside pressure and breaking and retesting through these levels. But we will see. I'll wait on that. Any questions on the Swiss Yen? So wait and see, mainly from the daily time frame.
No.
All right. All right. EuroCAD. All right. So back to this one. I'm gonna revisit this. Okay. Look at the swing. All right. That's long. There's no arguing that. All right. That's long. It's just a matter now of, hey, does it want to correct? Way overextended. Trend line is drawn. We're running into some key levels. Put this one on your radar. What goes up will eventually come down. All right. Don't want to try to guess at it. Just let the market dictate to us when it's ready. Okay. Here's a level here in this zone. All right. That we got a reaction the last time. So let's see if we can get it to push up into those levels. All right. And see if we can get some lower lows and some lower highs start to come off of that. Okay. All right. And keep watching that oil price. Keep watching that risk sentiment, especially after tomorrow, and see if we can get some sort of correction. right, to the downside. If you're a buyer, right, you want to see a correction happen anyway, right? And then you look for that long continuation at a favorable level, right? Like back down in these levels here. Okay. All right, so that could be a good one. That could be a good one, especially if you missed the run to the upside. Just know that it's coming into a pretty critical zone. Past support became future resistance. Okay. Key level, key zone. Any questions on the EuroCAD? That's been a runner. Let's see if it
No.
can run out of steam. All right. Euro Swissy. Right. It's kind of just been boxing these out. All right. Give me a breakout. Okay. You got a daily, and a weekly level here. That weekly's at 99.46. Either give me a breakout above 99.46 or below this 97.05. And then I'll look to make a move on it. Right. So I'm gonna leave that one here on a daily time frame because these are some key levels here, key zones that we need to break through the price to make a decision. Any questions on the Euro Swiss? So wait and see. Wait and see. All right. Euro GBP. See what happened with this one today. That's under 15. Let's go on. Let's look at it from the higher time frame. So still moving sideways, pretty much along that support level. Okay. But it's holding. It's starting to hold. I would prefer to buy, right? We're breaking trend line, but I would prefer to buy above this 86.99 level. That's just me, right? Something I've been eyeing for a while. But we're getting a trend line break there. Okay. I'm not playing it, but right, shorter term, you can get a breakout. That's that same type zone. And that's what I'm really waiting on right here on this 4 to get above some of these levels. Then my idea is just to play it right above these levels, right? Or below here. Okay. So long as it's still in that box, I don't plan on trading it. Right. That's a pretty sizable zone there. But the Euro GBP can drive you crazy. So I just rather wait. Just rather wait till it gets in the clear. But here's a wave, right? If you like trading those, right, those zones, get this out of here because it's moving sideways, ranging a bit. It's holding at that level, right? So you may, right, get price to move back to the upside, but I'm just gonna wait. Need a breaker above or below. Any questions on the Euro GBP?
No, sir.
All right, let's take a look at this Euro Yen. What's going on with this thing? Trying to form a low here weekly, right? So if we close this week out, right, you're gonna have another swing low here. So it's trying to form some support, which on the daily, right, we already got it. Okay. This thing is kind of dancing around. So bullish, right? Bullish to neutral. We'll see if we can get momentum back to this 146.15, right? But after this candle broke this 142.55, it has been moving bullish, but it's kind of stalling a little bit and moving sideways. The cash is back in the stale zone. So it may lose some momentum and it may range and get a little choppy. But if you're not in it now, right, off that break that you got, I would just leave it alone, right? Wait to see what it wants to do. Because here is that candle break, right? And then we can see how it's moving sideways, and then it's come right back to that level, right? So maybe we start talking again If you're not in it now, if you didn't catch it off that break, maybe we start talking again once we break some highs. But other than that, I've got nothing on the Euro JPY. Ryan, did you play that move or no? I know we had covered it, but
No, I didn't take it. I didn't take it.
yeah. Yep. It looked like it was ready to go. And then it got rejected. It got rejected today. So we'll see how that plays out. But not there's easier pairs to trade than that.
You know, those ends they're trying to move, but I've stayed out of all of them really.
I don't blame you on that one. Yeah, I don't blame you on that. I mean, that's been like for what the last couple of months, right? Last month is a month,
at least the last month and a half.
Yeah. So this is that Euro NZD. It's bouncing back now, but it's overall been moving to the downside. I wonder if it'll give us one more test of that trend line before moving through. But you got a beautiful 50% pullback up against daily resistance. And it moved down. So struggling at that 163 level though. Okay. But I ultimately expect for that to continue to decline. Right. So this is that higher time frame move. It's just been moving down. Right. So we see if we can get it to come into that support. 162.32. I'd always rather just kind of like in no man's land. I would rather come down and retest a key support level. Make me feel a lot better about possibly taking a reversal on that. So that's the Euro NZD, and then we've got the this Euro USD, and we've come right. We were talking about that 106 level, and that's exactly what we got. Right, we got price to break the trend line coming to 106, and we got a break and a close. Let me get this out of here. Above 106. So tomorrow will be interesting, right? To see if we can keep momentum up to 107. All right. So we kind of thought that we may see it go there, and that's exactly what it did. Hit that 106 level. Took it some time, but it got there. And let me run this off the highs. Okay. So we're pushing up in that zone pretty high. Running off the bottom. Okay. So cut up in that 118, 127 level. So we got some confluence there too. At least maybe we see a correction. But we have to be patient and wait and see. So that's the Euro USD. But we definitely tapped at 106. And we'll see how high it wants to go. Big day tomorrow. Big day. All right. Have to wait all the way until 2 o'clock. So it'll be interesting to see what the market does overnight up until that time. Probably not too much. Any question on the Euro USD or any of the Euro pairs?
No, sir. Then we're good.
Think we're good?
Yeah.
All right.
It'll be interesting to see what happens here at that 107.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's moving. It's moving. We get the dollar at that weekly level. So we'll see. We shall see. But it ought to be an interesting rest of the month after this week closes out. Moving into the new year. Let me take a look at this pound dollar. I didn't get a chance to see that today at all. See where we are. So just a continued bullish push. Finally broke through that zone. Yeah, interesting. Let me see. We get where are we at? Still moving. Wow. This is nice. I wonder if this is going to hold there. Kim, no, because my chart for some reason on the NAS is frozen. I've got to redo that. But we can start looking at that NAS and that US30. I know people have asked about that before. I need to redo those charts. Is yours active on yours, Ryan, or no?
Let me double check. Let's see.
I don't know why I'm having that issue, but we will start. If anything, I'll switch over to TradingView and we'll just map it out on TradingView. I do have a TradingView account, so we can do that, especially as we head into the New Year's with the NAS and the US30. Because a few times, is yours working?
Yeah, it looks like it's been moving.
Okay, so maybe it's time for me to blow up my chart then, because mine's like it won't load.
It won't load at all. Yeah, no,
Nope.
mine is there.
No, it won't load. So I'll maybe it's time for me to clear. Well, it's getting towards the end of the year anyway. Clear them all out and redo them and set them up. So start taking a look at it. But this one here, though, right? We've got a bullish candlestick and a pullback, and we're sitting right at past resistance, becoming future support. So this one will be quite interesting going into tomorrow to see what's going to happen. But that's at a nice level. That's at a nice level there. So we'll see what happens on that. Yours won't load either, Brandy. I was smart trader in some of these.
No, it won't load at all. It just stop and it'll have like the loading symbol that you can click, and then it still won't load.
Maybe
what symbol are you guys looking at?
Well, you know that it's the you know how you click to refresh it. That's the symbol it shows.
Yeah, I had to take a look at it. Maybe. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
NDAQ, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have to go back through that because it's done it to me. It's done it to me a few times where when I've gone to my indices, it's frozen. It's freezing out. So.
Me too, and I got upset, so I stopped looking at it.
I have to reach out to tech support because the last couple of times it was just stuff on my end. Like I needed to clear my cookies and all types of stuff. So they were able to help me out. But I haven't reached back out to them since it happened to me the last time. But I definitely like to get that cleared up going into the new year because I know a lot of people trade those, and a few times we have done it this year and looked at it, they played out pretty well. So some pretty nice moves. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see on that. But so that's the pound dollar. That's sitting right on top of that level. Will be interesting. And this is where we are on the daily, my daily fib. All right. Right. Anything that you have your eye on, or you just pretty much waiting for tomorrow? It's kind of one of those waiting see weeks.
Yeah, I'm just chilling right now. I only got a couple still floating, and you cover them all in New Zealand. And that Cat Swiss.
Okay. Let me look back at this. There was. Right. That's what I wanted to see. It was kind of sitting. That's just reminding me of that. Like right here. All right, this nice flag. Sitting right at testing that 106 level. I forgot to zoom in on that for everybody. You guys see that?
Yeah.
So if he comes out super dovish tomorrow, this thing will probably go flying.
Yep.
It'll probably go flying just technically, like the way how that's setting and retesting that area and how that formation is setting up there. That's gonna be quite interesting to see what comes of that tomorrow. All right. See if that support holds and if we get a breakout. I've had that on my mind the whole night. I just couldn't remember. So I just saw that pound dollar sitting there kind of similar at that level. So see if we can get a breakout. But that is all I have. I know we went through stuff pretty quick, but I was kind of anxious because I hadn't been on the charts all day. So I wanted to see what was going on with some of the pairs. But continue to keep an eye on your Telegram, because that's where we'll be posting setups, especially those shorter term setups that I know a lot of people like. And other than that, Ryan, anything to add before we wrap things up?
Continue putting in the time, good people. We appreciate you guys showing up every night and every morning. Keep putting in the work, digging through the training, and putting in the practice. Putting in the practice, because that's where you're really going to start to really compress those time frames, right? The more time you spend. So we appreciate you guys, man. Great session, bro.
All right, appreciate it. Hey, we'll see you all tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage, for the pre-New York session. Have a great night, everybody. All right. Ryan Brandon asked, do I have the link for Telegram? Should be in their email, correct?
Yep, should be in the email. Check your email. The day you enrolled or the day after you enrolled. That should be in the email. Check your spam and your promotional folder as well.
All right. You're welcome. Take care, everybody.